stand on certain issues and about me personally. First question.
All right. I've become what I would call like politically aware in the last few years, and really drawn in and studied politics quite a bit recently. And one of the things I've been asking myself, I think I have the answer, but I want to hear your opinion, is are we in the normal up and down of American politics where things seem screwed up, but it's self-correcting? Or are we in a situation now where, if you look at the prism of all of American history, are we in a situation where we're in a dire situation?
Boy, that's a very excellent question and excellently framed. I would have said, leaving a few issues aside, that it's the normal up and down. But now when you include two separate issues, it's not normal anymore. And the first issue is the American imperialism. What we Americans have fallen prey to as a result of the power we acquired in the Second World War was that we're the greatest in the world, we're the strongest in the world, and now with the implosion of communism, we're the only superpower in the world. That's a very dangerous situation to be in, both from a hubris point of view and an actual point of view. And actually is we demonstrate our hubris. We go to war for no reason at all. We invade other countries. We think we can, if we don't like Fidel Castro when he first came on the scene, well then we cuff him and we sanction him. You look around the world and who we try to punish, and who are we to punish? And of course we used to be able to say, well, we're better than everybody else. Not when we've done torture. You know, we have no moral pedestal left to stand on. And so but other countries knew this even before the torture situation. You know, we're an amalgam. So right now, I'm very concerned that unless, and we take the words of Dwight Eisenhower very seriously, he predicted what will defeat our democracy will be the military-industrial complex. And that is happening. In fact, since he said that, at the end of his term, there's no other person approaching the presidency, I mean approaching as a candidate, who's even acknowledged that problem. Now, that's looking at it just from an American point of view. Now look at it from a global citizen point of view. We're going to cook ourselves off the planet within 90 years. We will not have a planet left. And because of the nature of leadership, and I'm talking globally as well as American leadership, the representative government as an institution, as a governance institute, has topped out. It cannot get any better. It's not very good, but it's better than tyranny. But it can't get any better because it's not designed to self-correct. And so what we have to do is we got to change the nature of human governance away from what we have right now. And that is that you look at the problem, there's only two venues for change. One is the government, wherein lies the problem, and the other is the people. And so you have to go to the people. Now, why is it that the people have not been able to solve this problem before? We've been gleaned since childhood that, well, you control your government by voting on election day. Well, that doesn't happen. And I could go into some length as to why it doesn't happen. But it doesn't. So that means if that's not going to work, then what's missing? Well, then you analyze, you say, what is the central power of government? Or the central element of civilization? Laws, obedience to laws, or the ability to make laws. That's where the power is. So if we can now equip the American people to make laws in a deliberative fashion, they will now, for the first time in our history, have what Abraham Lincoln defined as a government by the people. We've never had a government by the people in this country. There's only one place on earth that has a government by the people, and that is Switzerland. In 1848, after a 3-year religious civil war, they copied our Constitution, and the only addition they made is to bring the people in as lawmakers in partnership with their elected officials. And since Switzerland has lived in peace, per capita the wealthiest people in the world, and they have no assets, no resources, 4 languages, 4 cultures, 4 religions, and they live in peace. And they had a referendum about 3 or 4 years ago, about what to do with their immigrants, and the people voted to let the immigrants acquire citizenship in Switzerland. And I know most people look upon the Swiss as sort of insular. Not so, not so. And that's the only place on earth that has what I'm talking about, bringing the people in as partners, being able to make laws, and it's a win-win, because the people that you elect to office, they'll be able to do a better job on the day-to-day operation of government, but you can do a better job on voting on the policies that affect your lives. You are all the authority of your life. You don't need, if you're a woman, you don't need 9 people in black robes standing in the hospital room, and then 535 members of Congress standing in a hospital room, and your doctor can't even get in to talk to you. That's the situation imagery that you have today with the way they're viewing a woman's right to choose. And I could go on the stupidity of our drug war. Our drug war. We are savaging. Savaging is the word. The inner cities of America, not over drugs, the drug war. And who in this room doesn't understand that in the 20s, the failure of prohibition, it brought about mafia, and we criminalized people. And the biggest problem that we did, we created a disrespect for the law, because people could go to speakeasy. The law was very clear. And when a democracy begins to nurture disrespect for the law within its constituency, it is on the downhill drag. And that's where we are with our drug war. And then you hear this rhetoric, oh, these immigrants disobeyed the law. My God, how many of these people disobey the law every single day and don't even own up to it, or aren't even aware that they're disobeying the law? We have to treat the drug issue as what it is. It's a public health issue. I tell you, marijuana is no more addictive than alcohol. No more addictive. And so if we can deal with alcohol, then we can deal with marijuana. Plus, marijuana has health properties. There's a new study out that shows that marijuana can cure a certain kind of a tumor cancer. Now, this is something we ought to outlaw. And several, I forget the number of states that have now passed laws, but we should legalize the whole thing. Then with hard drugs, we just treat it like the problem it is. You turn around and you want to live on cocaine, go get a doctor, give you a prescription, you go to a pharmacy, you get it filled. We have experiments in Netherlands and Switzerland where the people who do have a medical dependency, a drug dependency, if you turn around and stabilize it, they go on to normal lives. They get jobs, they become productive, they have families, and they just go on. Here, I take pain pills every day because I have neuropathy. Now, I don't take as many pain pills as I could because they make me sleepy if I take too many. So I have a drug dependency. I depend upon Lyrica to sustain the pain that I have all the time. So what's the big deal? I mean, we make it a big deal, and then we turn around and punish people and put them in jail that shouldn't be in jail. They should have productive lives. There's another problem that when I talk about the drug war, I don't talk about the prison problem. We have 2.3 million people in prison. Half of them should not be there. How do we get them back into society as productive members? Because if we don't have a program to do that, they're going to continue to be a drag on our society, which we cannot afford. And these are people that are going to have a life expectancy of another 50 years where they can be contributors, and that, well, I could go on the issues that turn that's just one question. I'll try to be brief.